Well, let's go to the US, where Republican nominee Mitt Romney has called for greater defence spending and increased military involvement in the Middle East.
It comes as both sides prepare for that second presidential debate after Mitt Romney, of course, surprised many pundits by winning the first debate.
Mitt Romney with harsh words for the president today, offering his own view of a greater American role around the world.
Our friends and allies across the globe don't want less American leadership. They want more.
Perhaps the biggest distinction on Syria. Romney arguing the U.S. should partner with other countries to help arm the rebels to defeat President Bashar Assad.
And then ensure that they obtain the arms they need to defeat Assad's tanks and helicopters and fighter jets.
Romney's aide saying Romney is not suggesting the U.S. arm the rebels directly. President Obama has opposed providing weapons to the rebels, partly out of concern that those weapons could wind up in the hands of terrorists.
Less than a month before the US presidential election, Republican candidate Mitt Romney has promised to rein in Iran and rebuild ties with Israel in a major foreign policy address. Still basking in what pundits say was his win in last week's presidential TV debate, Romney hit out at President Barack Obama's handling of the Middle East.
I know the president hopes for a safer, freer, and more prosperous Middle East allied with us. I share this hope. But hope is not a strategy. We can't support our friends and defeat our enemies in the Middle East when our words are not backed up by deeds.
Romney's speech set out to reframe the 65-year-old as strong presidential material following embarrassing gaffes during recent trips to Europe and Israel.
I will not hesitate to impose new sanctions on Iran, and will tighten the sanctions we currently have. For the sake of peace, we must make clear to Iran through actions, not just words, that their nuclear pursuit will not be tolerated.
This was an opportunity for Mitt Romney to reset his foreign policy, to correct mistakes made in the past. Just a few months ago, he was recorded on a secret video saying he didn't believe there would ever be an independent Palestinian state. Now he says he would work towards that goal if elected to the White House. This is all about broadening the discussion, moving away simply from economic messages as the campaign comes down to the final days. In Ramallah, Mitt Romney's speech received a cold rather than a cool reaction.
He's going about it the wrong way when he talks about improving even relations with Israel, being more biased towards Israel, paying more money to Israel, giving it more in terms of weapons and so on, and security cooperation, without realizing that it is precisely this bias that has undermined American standing and interest, and that has destroyed the chances of peace in the region.
The GOP nominee pledged to get tough by reversing looming defense cuts coming at the end of the year, threatening to impose possible new sanctions on Iran, and by looking for ways to arm the rebels in Syria. Romney also said he would pursue a two-state solution between the Israelis and Palestinians, a concept he seemed to diminish at a fundraiser that was secretly recorded and leaked to Mother Jones magazine.
And I look at the Palestinians not wanting to see peace anyway, for political purposes, committed to the destruction and elimination of Israel, and these thorny issues, and I say there's just no way.
Combating that image, Romney met with a group of retired generals after his speech. His campaign argued on a conference call the Romney approach would be both more muscular and bipartisan.
If you look at Harry Truman and John Kennedy and the use of power by Bill Clinton in his second term, that is a much different approach than Jimmy Carter and Barack Obama.
To put his vision into action, Romney will have to win first, which explains why he made an impromptu stop at a nearby elementary school. At this stage of the race, the pictures can matter almost as much as the policies.
The former governor stuck to his written speech. He has stumbled on foreign policy before, including during a trip to Europe and Israel.
The New York Times said Romney's knee-jerk response...
The Obama administration was quick to put out a campaign ad casting doubt over Mr. Romney's ability to be commander-in-chief.
If this is how he handles the world now, just think what Mitt Romney might do as president.
President Obama and Mr. Romney faced off in a debate last week focused on domestic policy. The Republican candidate was declared the winner of round one. But the president still has a lead when it comes to foreign policy. The two men will now meet on stage twice more in the coming 2 weeks and debate America's role in the world.